What is going on, guys? Hopefully, we are live here as usual. Let me know if we got that crackling noise. I checked beforehand, shouldn't be there, but of course, as always, let me know. I'm just going to scroll through like the random updates that we've had kind of recently. Tomorrow's video actually kind of goes over a lot of updates to the rankings, but I don't know. I figured before we get this started off, let people kind of come in here, then we'll get on to the actual draft. But ask any questions right now. I'm just going to go through kind of what happened today, basically. Nothing major though. I don't think there was any major news besides I think Ken Walker was the one that dropped recently. Let's see, I was just going through and retweeting like a million things. We got two more clips of Romeo Dubs just being like incredible, catching the touchdown there. Rips the guy apart here, and then doesn't get past two. Yeah, it's the sports hernia for Kenneth Walker, which is obviously a boost to Penny. Not a huge deal right now. We're already taking Penny slightly ahead of Walker. It was already kind of likely that Penny opened the season as one. I would say that this kind of just like reaffirms that if Walker's going to miss at minimum probably a few weeks, can't really know right now, but if he's going to miss a few weeks, especially in practice time, Penny's going to pretty clearly be starting the season ahead of him, and he already kind of was starting the season ahead of him. So interesting take there. We are going to see, I think we're going to learn a lot more. It seemed like Pete Carroll didn't even know what he was talking about during the interview. But yeah, I don't really think there's anything that noteworthy that happened today. A few more players getting some hype. We have more Michael Thomas hype. Apparently Galladay had an okay day. Gibson, my goodness, there's like so many negative reports on Gibson right now. He has the fumble in the preseason game. He's getting he was still working with the first team offense, but they're getting him working with like the second team, the third team, like the punt team, like obviously not good. He was coming off the field when they were doing like 2-minute drills. They're using Brian Robinson, like not good. If you're a Gibson fan, it's not a good time. I have a take with Dameon Pierce that I can kind of reserve for tomorrow's video. But if you look at the rankings, you'll know what the take is. I like Pierce. I think it's pretty official at this point. He's going to be the number one running back on that team. Looks really, really good in that preseason game. Clearly talented. I think we gotta start drafting him. Good to see Devonta Smith back. He's back at practice. He's looking good, so that's nice. They ramped up Stafford, so I don't really know. We weren't ever really considering this elbow issue for Stafford. We were obviously still drafting him, but yeah, I think that's kind of the big news. Hopefully some of you got into the Pomeranian earlier today. I made sure to max that. Pretty easy. You just join a bunch of the slow drafts, and we actually have a few of those. All right, we'll see if there's anything new. We have a few of those to show you guys here. All right, nothing we need to see. So after we do the draft, not pick them. We're going to go into active. I'm on the clock in a bunch of different drafts. Most of them are the Pomeranians, but we'll draft one of those. All right. That's enough talking here. We'll get to the questions in a second. I'll post the link here. We're going to make sure it is a fast draft. All right. Fast draft. Get the private key. We are going to share this one with all of you. Yes, there is a Superflex Pomeranian out right now. I just don't like Superflex as much. And if there's plenty of opportunities, you guys saw the list of drafts that I'm on the clock in. I'm currently in probably 30 drafts. It's insane how many I'm in. I don't need to add the Superflex ones if I don't like as much. But I think, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure it's also rake free. So if you guys enjoy Superflex, hey, you don't get into this draft or something like that, draft alongside, go over, do the Pomeranian, but Superflex, use the Superflex specific rankings on the site. And yeah, it's rake free. So in every other contest, where even are we? With the 11 pick, okay. In every other contest you're going to see on every website, even on Underdog, there's rake involved. So you take the total entry fees. They're going to take out anywhere from 10 to 15% as far as the company keeps, and then they give out in prize pool the rest of it. The Pomeranians are nice because it's zero rake. So your EV is neutral. You can join as many as those you want. If you're just like an average player in general, you're going to make about your money back. So that's why they're filling up extremely quickly. That's why the one that went out earlier today, it's not a thing anymore. But yeah, if you don't get into this, draft alongside us on the Pomeranian. But Superflex, again, I just don't enjoy Superflex as much as normal. All right, let's see if we can get one or two questions in here before we start off. At the 11 pick, my guess is I go running back, unless like Adams is there. That's probably what will end up happening. Yeah, you hear Gibson not doing that great at practice. Yep. Andrews is top 2 at his position. 8th pick, would you... What? 8th pick would likely be mid-level wide receiver. Oh, you were answering someone else. Okay. In a 14-team PPR league, who do you take at 3? I don't know. Look at the rankings. I'm assuming the rankings say in PPR, McCaffrey, then Taylor, then Jefferson. So Jefferson at 3 if he's there. If not, one of those two. If it's a 3 wide receiver league, definitely Jefferson. But if you're only starting 2 wide receivers, yeah, CMC, Taylor, Jefferson. Also, I want to note, I joined those like 15 Pomeranians, and I kind of want to go back and look. From the ones that I saw, Jonathan Taylor only went first in one of them. Like, people are taking McCaffrey first overall in like a massive amount of leagues. It has not flipped the ADPs, but every time I update, because I update that ADP page on the website, every single time I'm like updating that page, it's getting closer and closer. I would expect within the next like week or 2 weeks, I think McCaffrey is going to be like the number 1 overall pick in drafts. Now, again, you guys know my take. Actually, you'll find out my take tomorrow, but I've said my take, I think, in the mock draft Monday anyways. Standard, I still have Taylor at 1. Half PPR, I honestly think it's a coin flip. Take the one you want. And then PPR, I have moved McCaffrey over Taylor. So, we are on the clock here, and I kind of think our decision's been made for us. Alvin Kamara does go in the first round. That's very interesting. I'm definitely going to take Harris. I just think starting off running back is really nice. He's a top player in the rankings. Just makes sense to get him. Do I consider Adams if he's on the board? Because it would be Adams or I take one of the running backs here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go... I think I'll go with Adams at this spot. I feel like it's a good ADP value. Again, top player in the rankings. Kind of just can default to doing that early on. But you guys know my general strategy. I like to load up on running backs early on. I think you could have gone with Saquon at that spot. But I think getting Najee, it allows me to still draft, maybe someone in round like 3 or 4 at the running back position. Then maybe like a little bit later on, we can get one of the ones we like, your Dillons, your Stevensons, I don't know, like a Miles Sanders, someone like that, and then close it off a little bit later in the draft. Definitely didn't want to go 2 wide receivers there, but I like this start. Najee Harris, Devonta Adams. All right. We'll pull up the draft board here, and we'll get to any questions that you guys have. Fire them away. Does running back become more valuable in a 14-man league? Again, you can look at the rankings on the site. I have 14-team rankings. You can see how they kind of adjust. It's like somewhat relative. I'll say that this, like, it's more dangerous. So, I'm in the 14-team league I'm in actually is probably turning into a 12-team league this year, but I'm also in a 16-team league. And it's not necessarily that they're always more valuable, because that kind of like, it just depends that season, how many there do end up being that get injured, that overproduce, underproduce. But what happens in drafts is you're more at risk of a huge run happening, because, people panic, right? If I start off wide receiver, in a 14-team league, I'm like, all right, don't worry. I've done these mock drafts. I'm going to get these running backs in this next round. And then all of a sudden they start like flying off the board. People panic. They're like, oh my God, like all the running backs are gone. I'm taking 2. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I have to take 2 as well. And they just start flying. And so it's just riskier early on in a deep format, especially if, say, you're drafting at like the end of the first and it's going to be a long time before it gets to you. There's just more risk that running back runs out. You're not really at a risk that like wide receiver runs out. You're not really at risk that like tight end runs out, because once you're past the top 5, like there's a huge kind of range after that. There's deep options you can get. You can like double, triple dip if you're in a deeper league. In quarterback, like I guess they could run out, but realistically, there's like 32 starting quarterbacks, unless you're in a super flex league. Like, that's probably not running out. And so you look at all those other positions, like, there's probably not going to be a huge drop off. And then you look at running back, and it really does happen. Once you're past the top, 30 running backs, you start getting into like the 30s and the 40s, there's a lot less confidence. And so people have to start more. They start going on runs. It's just a little bit more dangerous. So that's what I'll say about running back in deeper formats. What round should you grab a quarterback? In a redraft league, I typically like rounds 6 through 9. You can do rounds 4 and 5 if you get them at a value, so don't reach. But if like Josh Allen happens to fall into like the 5th round or something like that, take him. It's a really, really good value. But 6 through 9 is like a really just good range. Try and find a good option that you like there. You're in a 16-team league, pick 15. Who should be your first pick? First 2 picks. I don't know who's on the clock. Like, those questions are impossible to answer because like you're effectively just taking the first 2 players who are in the rankings for a 16-team league. It's possible you can get lucky and there's 2 like really solid running backs who can get that spot. I would say it's likely you're double dipping like a running back and a wide receiver or like a running back and a tight end. That's probably the most likely. All right. We're almost up. I'd like Sutton. Oh, I'm probably going wide receiver here because we're at 35 and 38. The only running back option is going to be Zeke. For tight end, we're not going to reach there. For quarterback, theoretically, Josh Allen's a value. We'll see. Maybe we'll go with him. But yeah, we're looking at Cortland Sutton. We're looking at Mike Williams. Interesting. I wouldn't take Zeke with this first one, for sure. And I don't know that I'm like in love with taking Josh Allen here. I think it's definitely not a bad pick, but I would rather go with Cortland Sutton. See if Josh Allen falls to us. If he does, we'll take him. If he doesn't, that's okay. We can consider Zeke at this next one. I like getting Zeke when he slips, though, so that's not great. I'd be fine with Waddle. At this spot. I mean, I'll get one of these two, so it doesn't really matter. Waddle or Zeke? I guess part of me doesn't love that it's the double 9 bye week here. Let's see what he does. I'm leaning towards Waddle, and there goes Waddle. I was leaning towards Waddle because it hurts us a little bit. I want to maybe do this. It hurts us a little bit that Zeke has the same bye week as Najee Harris because if we're investing 2 running backs early on, we're kind of looking towards a 4 running back build, and it kind of seems like we're not going to get a 4 running back build if we take Zeke. Yeah, that's interesting. Let me know what you guys would have done there. I think Allen Robinson's the play because, again, yeah, like I've been getting Zeke at like 45, 46, 47. He's cratering in a lot of drafts. So taking him at 38 doesn't feel great. And it's just like, I like having that build if I have the 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds that has 4 running backs. It gets like the most value out of wide receiver. For me to take one that has the same bye week, I can't do 4. And so it kind of defeats the purpose. And if I'm almost reaching for Zeke to get that, it's not great. So we won't get him in the next pick, but yeah, I don't really want to take him there. Ten-man league, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Would you advise getting a mid-level tight end, Schultz, Hawkinson, with multiple mid-round value? What? With multiple rounds of value if you already got a top 5? No. I don't really care how far of value you're getting these mid-round tight ends. In general, I don't even love the mid-round tight ends. Like, I don't even love Schultz or Hawkinson normally. If you've already got a top 5 guy, no. I'm not doing that. Oh, questions jumped. Pierce is such a good value right now. Yeah, he won't be in this draft. Someone's going to take him early, but... Oh, sorry. We'll put this up. Yeah, in drafts right now that we know he's a clear 1, definitely. Dame, yeah, Damian Pierce talking about there. I'm assuming he's talking about Damian Pierce. Is Kamara at 15 in a 12-team league a good pick? You're worried about the legal issues. I don't think we should be that worried. It really doesn't seem like he's going to be suspended this season. It really seems like it's going to keep pushed out. I highly doubt the commissioner is going to issue a ruling before the legal process plays out on this one. It just doesn't seem very likely. And if they keep pushing it pretty easily, I don't think he's going to be suspended. That's why I've moved him up a lot in the rankings. I don't remember exactly where I have him, but I think I have him as like a either late first, early second round pick. So at 15, you can feel pretty good about that. He went 9 here, but that's people using the rankings. You're considering, so keeper league question. Don't have much to choose from. You're considering Deontay Johnson and Elijah Moore. Assuming that you're giving up the exact same amount for them, Deontay Johnson. If there's a round difference from what you can keep them, it depends on what the round difference is. But straight up, Deontay Johnson over Elijah Moore. You're in a 2-quarterback league. When do you start drafting a quarterback? You kind of just got to play it by ear. Some are going to go in the first round. So, like Mahomes, Herbert, Allen. Maybe not all of them will go in the first round. Allen will go in the first round, but they'll probably all go in the first. My general strategy there is just when you're comfortable drafting the ones that usually go in rounds 6 through 9. So if we pull up the quarterback rankings, whenever this general range is going, Lamar, Hurts, Burrow, Kyler, Wilson, Lance, Brady, Dak, whenever that kind of range is going, see if you can get one of them as long as you don't feel like you're reaching too far. You can kind of look at ADPs as far as that's concerned. I wouldn't want to be like, oh, they're going way too early, so now I'm stuck with like Daniel Jones and Tua. Like, that's fine, but you're probably being beat in like most weeks. So I would just try and get this general range wherever it happens to be. It'll probably end up being round like 2 or 3. Then kind of look a little bit further back. Look at this range, try and get one of like Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Dak, Stafford, maybe one of them. Go later on. You can target like a Goff, a Mac Jones, Davis Mills, someone like that. I would just kind of hit the 3 different ranges, and it's just where they happen to be in the draft. But you're probably going to have to spend a top 3 or 4 round pick on a quarterback because they're going to be flying off the board, and you will need one. All right. We're 59. Deontay Johnson obviously is the biggest screaming value right now. At quarterback, we'll have Wilson up here, but we're not going to take him, just as a reminder that we have Courtland Sutton. Running backs, there's no running back values. We're not going to take a running back. Godwin's a good pick here. Yeah, Deontay Johnson goes. That was easily the best pick on the board. As much as I don't even love Deontay Johnson, it's still a good pick. I think Godwin. I don't see a reason. Yeah, none of the tight ends are there. Godwin. And then we'll probably end up taking, it's again going to be, I would play ADP and do this. That feels like a good start. We're very likely, I don't think he's going to take Metcalf and Elijah Moore. If he does, oh no. What if he does, though? Do we just take Dylan? I might just take Dylan. Yeah. If he takes Elijah Moore, I'll just take Dylan. Okay. I'll take Elijah. Do I need to? Maybe I should take A.J. Dillon. Maybe that's a little bit smarter. Get another rock-solid running back. A lot of upside. I already have a lot invested in the wide receiver position. All right. We'll take Dillon. That's probably the better pick. Some people have asked about Elijah Moore. Let's be honest. He performed better without Wilson, so I'm not concerned that Zach Wilson might miss some time. I'm also not concerned that Zach Wilson might return and not have maximum mobility. It honestly doesn't concern me. Zach Wilson's not that good. If this was, Tom Brady getting hurt, Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, obviously it's going to impact ADP. I didn't change anything because Zach Wilson's not very good. So don't worry about that. Elijah Moore is the very clear number one wide receiver on the Jets. See if we can do another question here. How early are you willing to take Kamara? Again, I think the turn. First, second round turn. I mean, I guess it kind of depends who you compare him with. Like, it's just your comfort level. Like, you just have to be willing to understand that if he doesn't get suspended for the whole season, you're getting a mid-first round pick in the late first, early second round. If he does get suspended, you're probably losing EV on that pick. He probably should go more in the third round if he's suspended for 6 weeks. But that's a risk that you need to evaluate for yourself. If you think that you're like good at drafting, you're better than your league mates, why not take that shot? Because if it hits, you're getting huge value there. If you think it's a very competitive league, you're not fully comfortable with taking him, you're like, oh, I'm going to be so mad at myself if he gets suspended. Hey, there's other really good players available in the end of round one. It's fine. So it depends on your personal risk level. I'm a very risky drafter myself, so I'll take him at the end of the first, early second round turn. Jamar Chase or Najee Harris? I would take Jamar Chase. What's a good rating on the draft calculator in the website? Assuming you downloaded the new one, so I posted in the Discord that I made an update to it. I don't actually know the new. I mean, now it's supposed to be like real now, so where it's like, a 95 plus is a really good score. A minus is like really solid. B is average, like stuff like that. Like it's supposed to be more like that. Before, if you have the old one, if you cracked 90, your team's God mode. Like it was so hard to get a high score. Now I made it a little bit more realistic. So think of grades in school. That's kind of how it is. Like if you get a C, it's not good. Get like a 93, really good team. But again, I did that update recently, and I've been asking for people to tell me in the Discord, is it too easy? Is it too hard? It won't be too hard. It'll be too easy, if anything, right now. But again, 90s are good, obviously. CMC went mid-second round in one of your home leagues? My goodness. Yeah, well, he's a top 2 pick. So if you get him in the mid-second round, it's really nice. Who are the first 4 picks in half PPR? Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. How does someone practice trading in their leagues? How does someone practice? I don't think you can practice trading. I think you just got to talk to people maybe. I don't know. Go in the Discord and hit people up. Be like, what are your most effective strategies? Stuff like that. But no, there's no real way to practice trading. I don't think I showed you guys the trading tool I built. I don't know that it was fully functional. I built it in the off season, and I forgot about it for a while. I wasn't going to give it to you guys until in season because it's you don't really trade. I don't recommend trading that much in the off season. Okay, this is actually a good one. A lot of people ask trading questions right now. When you do your draft, you love your team. Usually. Sometimes you don't, but you love the players you drafted because you just drafted them. And so in general, people are the most expensive right when the draft happens because everyone's picking players that they at least somewhat like. And so it's going to be more difficult for you to trade someone away because you're going to probably like that player a little bit. They're going to like the player they drafted. And it's it's just a lose-lose trying to trade right now. If you really want to trade, target teams that screwed up in the draft, be like, hey, you forgot to draft running back until round 12. And they're like, oh yeah, that was a mistake, and trade with them. But I usually just hold off, draft your team, wait until the first few weeks of the season, wait for people to underperform, people to be upset with their teams, then you do trading. Don't trade too much in the offseason. Everyone likes their team too much. All right. If Wilson's there, we'll take him. If not, we're picking at 93. We have the option to grab Stevenson here. Kirk and Renfro would not be bad picks. We can. I don't think I'd go tight end. I really just don't like drafting the tight ends there. Are we going to get sniped for the 4th time in this draft? Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get Russell Wilson here. But yeah, if not, we'll just take probably 2, unless it'd be a very bad scenario if multiple go. All right. Nice. So we got the Wilson. with Sutton stack. Beautiful. We'll maybe look at Alberto late. We'll look at KJ Hamler late. Really hoping I can get one of Christian Kirk or Ramondre Stevenson here. Theoretically, if that doesn't happen, I have the option to grab Tom Brady. Different bye week. Getting him at ADP. That's totally fine. Completes another stack with Chris Godwin. I don't mind that at all. That's interesting. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't care about being away for personal reasons. That was planned. That was like always going to happen. He'll be back. He'll be fine. Don't worry about that. Interesting. Okay. Do we like this build? Russell Wilson and Tom Brady. So high weekly upside, also high floor. We know these guys are going to be very, very good this season. Quarterback position's on lock right now. Running back, we've got Najee Harris and A.J. Dillon. Feel very confident there. Then wide receiver, Adams, Sutton, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin. We can continue with these stacks. We can grab Hamler or Alberto. We can grab Gage if he falls, Julio, maybe even Rashad White. So a lot of options. All right. We'll keep this up. We're not going to draft another quarterback. Okay. I like this. I like the start a lot. How do you feel about Miles Sanders? Looks like he's going to be involved in the passing game, in my opinion. What do you think? Can be deceiving. I think I talked about this in maybe the mock draft Monday. Don't look too hard into the preseason game because they didn't have Boston Scott. They didn't have Kenneth Gainwell. Both of them did not play in the game. So you see him play all the snaps with the starters. You see him play on the third down, look really good. And he's going to look good because he's Miles Sanders. He's a great running back. But don't think he has the number one like feature role on lock because when those two are healthy, when they're playing, they're going to command a workload. Now, with that being said, I think Miles Sanders is still being undervalued right now. He's a good pick. He's a good upside pick. I love this Eagles offense. He's going to have touchdown upside no matter if he didn't score any touchdowns last year. He's going to have touchdown upside. He'll have reception upside. Kenneth Gainwell, recent reports out of camp, not so good. He's been dropping some passes, so keep an eye on that. I like Miles Sanders. I think he's very talented, and I think people are off of him a lot more than they should be. Thoughts on Etienne in PPR at his current ADP? His current ADP is probably in PPR. What does he go in like the fourth round? I guess let me know what his actual ADP is in full PPR formats. I know in here in Underdog, I have him like one running back spot behind ADP in half PPR. Obviously, he moves up in full PPR, but I don't know what his ADP is. I think he's a good pick, though. He's going to catch a ton of passes. He's a great pick in PPR. Yeah, I like Etienne. You guys know I like Etienne. Not a slam dunk, though. I'll say that. He's obviously a risky pick. And if people are going to take him really early, there's still risk there with James Robinson. Why is JT sixth in your full PPR 3 wide receiver superflex rankings? I mean, I don't know what the actual rankings have. It's just a system that does it. I'm assuming Josh Allen gets ahead of him because it's superflex. I know Justin Jefferson goes ahead of him in 3 wide receiver leagues. It's PPR, so Christian McCaffrey is going to be ahead of him. I'm assuming Cooper Kupp probably leapfrogged him, so that leaves one extra player who's not a running back. It's either going to be Jamar Chase or it's going to be Justin Herbert. I don't know which one it ends up being, but yeah, it's just because value changes. 3 wide receiver league increases value for wide receiver. Full PPR increases pass catching running backs, which Taylor is not as much of. And Superflex increases the value of quarterbacks. So you're going to have some quarterbacks going to go in that top range. How do you adjust the rankings when your NFL home league uses bonus scoring? Depends on what the bonus scoring is. If it's like my league and it's just like yardage bonuses, you don't need to adjust too much, like 100-yard bonus, passing bonus. If it's that for quarterbacks, you just want passing quarterbacks. You don't want Lamar Jackson. You don't want Jalen Hurts as much. You don't want Trey Lance. Just lean like pocket passers, Brady, Burrow, Stafford, Cousins, players like that. If it's yardage bonuses for like touchdowns, I would print off a page that gives you like the players who had the most like 40-yard plays last year, and just bring that with you. Kind of star off those players. There's no other real way to adjust it. I guess it just depends on what you're talking about. If it's yardage bonus for touchdowns or total. All right, 107. We need tight end, but I hate this range for tight end. We're still not going there. Wide receiver. Gage and Julio are options. I think we should go running back, though. I'd probably take Melvin Gordon if he's there. No other real value, though. Yeah, there's like nothing. So if Melvin Gordon's available, we should probably take it. Ugh. I hate it, but we know one of Gage or Julio is going to be there in the next spot. And we'll probably just take them. Pickens is an option for us. I know he's not going to be there at the next pick, but we're early 10th. That's tough. Boy, do we go? I think you go with Gage, though, right? Not going to practice this week. That's not great. Doesn't really matter, though. We're pretty far away. Huh. That is a difficult one. I just think because we have Brady. Complete that stack. This is at ADP. That's difficult, but yeah, I think I'm going to do it. So we're not going to end up getting Pickens. I just think it's more valuable doing that. Like early 10th is still, that feels so early when you're looking at ADP. I know he's not going to be there because I'm drafting with you guys. If this was, a draft that I didn't know the people in, there's no way I would take Pickens that early. That's, 20 spots above ADP. I know his ADP is rising, but that's early. Gage is still a good pick. All right. I like how this team's shaping up. We got some good stacks. We're done quarterback. We're probably only taking like 2 more running backs because I have the 9. The 9 duo is fine this late. But probably only 2 more running backs. We'll probably triple dip on tight end. There's some late tight ends I really like. So we'll probably grab some of them. Looking for a question here. Full PPR super flex. Well, it doesn't matter if it's super flex. You're giving me running backs and stuff. Jamar, Cook, or Najee? Jamar Chase in full PPR. You have the 5th pick in a 12-team full PPR draft. Justin Jefferson's your keeper at 12th round. Nice. Cup is there at 5. Do you go after him or no? Yeah. Okay. So I get this question a lot too. You're in a keeper league. You've got a great wide receiver value late. You're sitting there in the first round. Like Jefferson, Chase, Cup all become a value. You're like, I already have a great wide receiver and it's full PPR. Do I take the running back? No. Just double dip. If you have the opportunity to have Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp in a PPR league, take it. Don't reach for a running back just to say you have a running back. That's an unbelievable start. A huge edge you have over every single team. You can figure out running back later. Take the value. Are you concerned about Tampa Bay losing their starting center? Yes. I do believe after that happened, I went in and decreased the efficiency. So completion percentage, yards per target, things like that for the Bucs. So the rankings are accounting for that. It's not the end of the world. Brady has at times struggled with pressure from the center. He's just not good when he's facing pressure, right in front of him. He's still Tom Brady. This is still a really good offense. Yeah, it's going to hurt, but it's fine. They can get over it. There are a lot of questions. My goodness. Your hometown league still won't add an IR spot. That's sad. Every league should have an IR spot. Why Jamar Chase over guys like Diggs, CD, I think that means T. Confused about this though. T. Higgins demands targets. Better offensive line can lead to more runs, but they have the same offensive line on the same team. Yeah, because Jamar Chase is one of the best prospects we've seen in a very long time. Like, he's just a better prospect than T. Higgins. He's a better prospect than CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs. He's just better. And I like that environment more in Cincinnati than I do for Dallas. And then with Diggs, I don't know. I mean, they're very close, but it's just the prospect. There's more of that ceiling. We kind of know what Diggs is going to do. He's going to be really good. They have other players in the team that are going to like produce. But with Chase, maybe it is that like unknown ceiling. Like I said, one of the best prospects we've seen, and he's just coming off his rookie season. In year 2, like, he could take a really big step forward and be like the number 1 overall pick in drafts next season. Unlikely, probably, but I mean, it's more the upside factor and the projections. He just projects significantly better than all of them. Even giving T, I think I have T maybe even ahead of ADP. Okay, we can start considering tight end here. So Alberto's definitely in our consideration. We have the Russell Wilson stack. Wide receiver, there's not that much value here, and we already have a lot of really solid ones. So we don't necessarily need to. Running back, Henderson's hurt right now, but he's a value. I'd say Rachaad White's a better pick to complete our stack as well. They're both the stack, and I don't think they're kind of like of equal importance. I would do Henderson after that. I would take Madison. I don't know if there's any wide receivers I want at this pick. So Alberto or Rachaad White are probably the two. I would say Alberto might be more likely to be drafted. I don't know what this guy needs, Rachaad White. Yeah. Alberto, hope that he doesn't take Rachaad White because it feels like that team needed a tight end a little bit more. If White's there, we take him. If not, we get one of these handcuffs. Not the end of the world if we don't stack Brady with, both. Yeah, we already have. Okay, so Rachaad White goes right after. We already have Chris Godwin. We already have Russell Gage. That's totally fine. I didn't even realize the other Denver stack. We have Russell Wilson with Melvin Gordon and Sutton and Alberto. Very nice. We'll probably take Henderson at this spot. Just grab running back at value. Yeah, we don't know when Henderson's going to return, when Akers is going to return. Far enough out that I'm not overly concerned. McVay didn't really give us anything. He's like, could be a day, could be 2 days, could be a week. I don't know. So we'll see. But that was a good value pick. If he's going to split time at all, you're just going to want a running back getting volume on this offense. We are going to need one more running back. So for the rest of this draft, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks. I want 2 wide receivers. I want one running back, and then we'll do 3. Did I say 2 wide receivers? 2 tight ends, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers. That's how I want to finish things off. I will risk it with tight end because there's some late options I want to talk about that I want to get on more teams, honestly. So we don't need to go tight end at the next spot. We'll probably have to go with running back because there is a pretty big drop off. There's only a few left that I really want on my team. So we'll try and make sure we grab one of them. But we'll see. See what you guys end up doing against me. Thoughts on stacks in regular leagues versus best ball? You don't have to stack in a regular league. Unless there's a big prize pool, it's a Scott Fish Bowl, it's something like that. You don't need to stack in a hometown league or something like that. In fact, there's sometimes you want to avoid it, especially with multiple high-end players, just because it opens up weekly volatility. That one team performs poorly and now you lose. That's not great. You want to kind of diversify. Or what if you draft 2 wide receivers? You draft Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and you're like, awesome. Then what if Burrow goes down? Your whole season's shot? That's not great either. So in best ball, that's fine because you're trying to win it all. You're trying to go for like that ceiling outcome. You don't care if you get last place. You're trying to get first place. In a redraft league, there's no reason to stack. Your hometown league is figuring out drafts. If we did a reverse draft, should we make last place be first overall, or should they be allowed to pick what spot they want? The second one. So I don't like when teams are like, oh, it's just like you're going to draft reverse order the standings. So if you get last place, you get first pick, then second pick, then third pick. Nah. If you're going to do it like that, which we don't in our league, it's just like we pick out of a hat or we simulate numbers, and that's your random order. First pick person on the list, person who pulls number 1 from the hat, they pick their draft spot first. That's how you should do it. Last place in your league, if you guys are doing it like this, should pick what they want first. If they want the 4 pick, let them do it. It shouldn't just be reverse order. Some people just want different things. How do you feel about Trey Lance Ayuk stack? Love it. That's a good stack. What is your take on Marlon Mack starting Houston running back ADP around 18? He's fine, but he's a flyer. Damian Pierce is starting running back on that team. How many quarterbacks do you draft in Superflex Underdog? Like 4? Probably like 4 quarterbacks. That's why they go so early, because they're going to run out. Probably like 4. Favorite player advanced stats? I mean, yards per route run is highly predictive. I know that one. I like reception perception, Matt Harmon. Success rates versus man, versus press, versus zone gives you a really good indication of, hey, how often does this dude get open against his zone? How often do they beat press man coverage? I think those are really valuable things to know in grading how good a wide receiver is. Doesn't the current depth chart show Max starting? Don't look at depth charts. They're absurd right now. They only matter in season, and they don't even matter then. Depth chart, don't look at a depth chart right now. Will Godwin be ready for week 1? I don't know. But if he is, I'm getting him at a huge discount. And if he's not, I have other wide receivers that are going to like produce for me in the meantime until he does come back. And then when he does come back, you're going to get like probably a 3rd, 4th round value much later than that. I think he's going to be, but it's going to be close. I was hoping for Robinson there. I will take Jamal Williams. I'll take Pacheco. I'll take Herbert. Those are probably the only running backs I would take in this spot. What would my order be? I feel like I'd want to just take them in order of ADP to try and maximize getting 2 of them. I don't expect this dude to take one. He's already got 4 as well. I don't know that he's going to take one either. All right, well, we'll end up getting one of them. All right, nice. Jamal Williams is going to be a really good pick this year. He's always undervalued. He's going to produce for us. And he's got a bye week that's different from everyone else. So we're actually done with running back. I probably didn't plan this out well enough. Pat is still on the board. That's weird. So we'll take him if he's there. If not, Hamler. All right, there goes Pat. Hamler would be a really nice pick for us here. If we don't get Hamler, good. And Hamler's not someone we need to be healthy all season. I know he's like always going to be hurt. We don't need it. What we need is random weeks where KJ Hamler catches a really long pass, a really long touchdown. He's going to be in our starting lineup a few times. Now, in a this isn't a puppy draft, Pomeranian draft, Best Ball Mania 3. So I didn't need to go so heavy into stacking. But I wish it was, because I got some really nice stacks in this one. Pull this back up. So again, 2 tight ends. I might even go 17th and 18th round. So we're going to probably take 2 wide receivers we like, unless there's a tight end that like really falls to us here. Is Eckler preferred at 103 after McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor? No. The top 5 is McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor in some order, then the 3 wide receivers, Jefferson, Kupp, and Chase. If you really want him at 5, I think that's fine. I don't think there's really a case for Eckler ahead of Jefferson and Chase, or Jefferson and Kupp. I think those are locked in ahead of him. How does Zach Wilson's injury affect Breece Hall? It doesn't. Again, Zach Wilson's not good. The backups are going to be just as good as him. He'll be back very early in the season, maybe like week 2. It doesn't impact anyone. Thoughts on Conner, James Conner, if you can get him, and the 2-3 turn after Jonathan Taylor? No, I don't. I think that's too early for him. At least in this format. Check the rankings for other formats. I can pull up. I'll pull up the just like, I don't know, half PPR rankings. I think that's too early. He's facing massive regression. He was not nearly as good when when Edmonds was playing last year. So I have him at the 3-4 turn. So that's where I take him. And he's not going to be there at that spot, so you're not going to end up getting him if you use the rankings. Last year in the offseason, you were able to trade Callaway for Jamar Chase because of the drops. Okay, if something like that happens, sure. If we've got like, who would that be? Who would like the 1-for-1 be for that? I don't think there's a rookie this season that says locked in. I don't know, but if something like that happens where we're just like, it's just laughable that people are actually going to decrease. Like I remember last year I upped him in the rankings. So like that, all that news came out. People were like, oh, you can't draft Chase. And I was like, what? I was like, that means he's going to drop a little bit. So I increased his projection a little bit to make sure that he like boosted above ADP so that when people saw him slip, they'd be like, wow, look at this great value and take him. Not be like, oh, I heard about the drops. He's only a little bit of a value. So I boosted him in the rankings after that because it was absurd that was like an issue. So if something like that happens where there's just this like stupid rumor going around that like a player should go down in value because of a dumb reason, then we can trade for them in the offseason. So that'd be the one situation where I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's do trades. When are we drafting Antonio Gibson in a half PPR 12-team league? Not early. Yikes. I don't even think you want to know what I dropped him to. I have him in the 8th round right now. It's basically a ranking that's like, you're not going to get him. You're not going to get Antonio Gibson if you use the rankings. I don't want anyone drafting him. How do you gain an edge in a 10-team PPR league? There's so much depth. Almost everyone is good. Well, you gain an edge by drafting like Josh Allen and Travis Kelce. Yeah, everyone's going to have good running backs and wide receivers. Not everyone can have Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. Not everyone can have that. That's your edge, is those other positions. We're almost up. I'll do another question after. We're 179. I don't see any tight ends that I care about. So again, we'll go with wide receiver. Van Jefferson's an option. It's kind of gross. Yeah, we'll take Van. Because he'll be back early in the season. He's a deep play specialist. Can have some of those spiked weeks. So Van's a fine pick. And then probably Curtis. Jose Jones. David Bell's tough. He's finally starting to like return to practice. I don't know when he returned, but he tight end here though. Yeah, why don't we do that? Oh, I couldn't even draft Curtis if I wanted to. All right. Alberto, no Fant. We got the trade partners there. Well, sort of. The two teams that traded each other, Fant away from Alberto's team. But yeah, I think I could have gone with wide receiver, but I don't care if I get Bell, Zay, Duvernay, Tyquan, Kyle. I probably want one of them, but I don't really care which one. Tight ends, there's going to be a lot here that we're like kind of excited about, honestly. I'll talk about them when they come up in the rankings. But yeah, let's just do, I mean, I want that. And then we'll see after that. One of Brian Robertson. Yeah. One of Brian Robinson and Pierce feels like a must draft. It kind of does. Given like latest reports, it just feels like you got to try and get those dudes on your team. Now, I didn't even consider him in this draft because when he was going, like it wasn't in a range where like you guys were drafting with my rankings. Had people not been, there would have been opportunity for me at this spot to maybe get him, but he went too early for me to really like have a shot at him. Yeah, he went at 8.7. So I was kind of locked in on that like Wilson and Brady. I could have gone with Pierce at 8.2, but nah. But he's a great pick. Yeah, Pierce, Brian Robinson, one of them is going to be, the odds are one of them, if not both of them, are going to end up being like really, really good picks this year. 240 in here, 1,000 views. My voice is going to absolutely explode. We're in mid-August. I've recorded every day for like 2 months straight. 38 likes. We're going to need more. We're going to need more likes here. I feel like I did all the questions. Watkins late? Yeah, if you want to. I mean, he's on Aaron Rodgers-led offense, right? Like, any human being on an Aaron Rodgers-led offense has the upside to score 3 touchdowns in a game. And that's what you're looking for in Underdog. In a redraft league, nah. I'm not drafting Sammy Watkins. But, yeah. I think anyone on that offense is fine. Why'd you say something about Chase Edmonds and James Conner went to Miami? So what I was saying is, James Conner was phenomenal for a chunk last season, but that was when Edmonds was out. When Edmonds was in, James Conner wasn't like that good. It was actually Edmonds that was better. And I'll talk about that in the Thursday breakdown. And so if this season, they're going to probably go back to using one of Darrell Williams or Benjamin or a combination of both of them like Chase Edmonds, well, Connor's not going to be nearly as good as he was last year. He's facing, some of the most touchdown aggression of any running back in the last 50 years. Like, just a lot of things scream, don't draft him. Especially if you guys are worried about McCaffrey injury history, like, James Conner's always hurt. He's struggled through a ton of injuries in his career. He's a huge risk as well. Can you show us your most drafted players in Underdog? Yeah, I'll pull that up. Once we're done this one, we're going to go in. We're going to draft. I might be in the clock in like 10 different leagues. We're going to draft all those. Then I'll show you guys my exposures. But keep in mind, I'm drafting like 30 drafts right now. There's a lot of players that might be a little bit higher in my exposures than they will be because maybe I don't draft someone for like the next 30 that go in. Like, there are literally drafts right now. Like if I have someone in 100% of the drafts that I'm going to show you, the exposures, and then I don't take them in any of the drafts right now, it's probably going to be like 50%. Like, I'm probably going to double in the next like 3 days the amount of exposures that are going to be listed there. But yes, I'll show you guys that. Okay. I think it's safe to finally talk about some of these tight ends. That's what I'd be looking at late. Conklin, Jonnu Smith, Taysom Hill, Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is a rookie. He's not going to have a phenomenal season, but he's been tearing up camp. He looks really, really good. He's going to be highly involved this season. He'll have some touchdown catches. He'll have some spike tweaks. Taysom Hill. He's a quarterback potential. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. Like, he's got that potential to play quarterback if you're getting it in the last round. That's good value. Conklin, clear tight end 1 on the Jets. Everyone's grabbing the quarterback. Jeez. We're going to go with Duvernay here. So we're not going to draft there. Go away, Kyle. Yeah, Conklin, clear tight end 1 on the Jets. Going to get a workload. He's actually like pretty talented like him. And then Jonnu Smith, been very involved early in camp, getting a lot of screen passes, quick passes. They kind of had a talk in the offseason, like ownership, being like, hey, we need to get these guys that we paid like $40 million to like involved. So I definitely think Jonnu Smith is going to be involved this season. Is he going to go off? No, absolutely not. But he has upside. He's got reception upside, weekly upside. And if I'm looking for that in tight ends in like, this later round range, give me someone who can rack up maybe 4, 5, 6 receptions in a game. He's got the athleticism to bust off, a screen pass 50, 60 yards. That's what I want in best ball. So these are the guys that I would be drafting in this like last round, and usually all on the board. So if you want to leave yourself an option to last round tight end, it's them. And then did Brevin Jordan get drafted? I think he did. Let's pull up yeah, Brevin Jordan went in the 16th. Maybe that's a little bit too early, but he's the other option. So there's 5 names for you, tight ends I would take late. All right. Well, we finished this team, right? Yeah. I like the team. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the team. But we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on the clock in 6 different drafts. So let's do those. Let's look at exposures. Where'd the 3-hour one go? All right. And then we'll probably get out of here. So, first one. Took Jamar Chase at the 6th pick. Got a little bit of value there. We are at 19. Alvin Kamara. No-brainer for me. I'm taking Alvin Kamara at that pick every time. His ADP is going to be quicker soon. All right. 1 down. Another Pomeranian. These are all going to be early picks. Oh, we got the turn. Lovely. Okay. Got that 12-13 turn. Off the board is everything that makes sense. Nothing crazy happened. Probably not going to take Kamara here. There's no chance I'm going to get him at the next pick. But I've been drafting a ton of Kamara, and I would prefer to get my exposure to him in that late second round while it's possible. And so I'll probably end up just doing 1 to Harris and 1 to Mixon. I think that would be the best start in this one. Another team. Pull this one up. We're late in this one. Okay. Justin Herbert stacked with Austin Eckler. That is it. Tua stacked with Jalen Waddle. Okay. We've got Eckler, Swift, Chubb, Montgomery. No doubles. So maybe we just end up with 4 running backs in that one. Got Alberto. Okay, so tight end's an option, definitely. We're at 174. Mike Gesicki. Oh, we kind of have to go with Gesicki. Like, I know I don't love him, but we have Tua. Gesicki's like a billion spots of value. I know that he's not getting good reports. He's probably not going to be as involved as people think. That's a huge value. You have to grab that stack there. Okay. Pomeranian. Round 2. We're probably going to draft Kamara here. We've got Eckler. So it's either Kamara or Debo. Give me Kamara. That's what I'm saying. If I'm going to have a ton of drafts, and I got the 6th pick in a lot of drafts, if I'm going to have so many mid-second round picks and getting Kamara and all of those, then I don't want to take him in like the early second in other ones. All right, 8th pick, McCaffrey, Cup, Taylor. Okay, a little bit of a different start for you guys there. All right, Najee's the top player. We're not going to take Kamara. Yeah, it'd be Najee or Adams. I would just take Harris. I have a lot of Najee Harris as well. My goodness. Last one. Mid-second round. Finally a mid-second round that's not going to be Alvin Kamara. Where did he go? Oh, he went at 13. All right. We got Swift in the first round. Or we got Cook in the first round. Swift in the second round for us here. All right. Easy peasy. You guys wanted to know exposures. So I only have 38 drafts. Again, I'm on the clock in a billion, or I guess 36 that are going to show here. This is the current exposures. Like I said, it's going to change when all these drafts I'm doing right now get into it. I have not been drafting Daniel Jones as much recently. I think he was in probably 3 of the Best Ball Mania ones really early on when I was stacking him with I was getting him with probably the number 1. Oh, number 2 now. So I was getting Wan'Dale Robinson in the last round of the draft in so many. And so I was just doing a ton of Daniel Jones with Wandale stacks. So that's why I have like a billion of them. They're more expensive now, but I mean, I still get Wandale clearly in a lot. So yeah, I like Wilson. I like Brady. You guys just saw me draft them. I draft them a lot. Tua, yeah, I mean, these should make sense to you. Just grab like the good quarterbacks. A lot of Hines. Yeah, I like to get Hines. I like Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, Dalvin Cook. Yeah, this makes sense. I don't think there's any surprises here. I don't have very much McCaffrey because I just don't get as many early picks. But I'll say this. Where's Jonathan Taylor? Yeah, 8% Jonathan Taylor. That's going up. I was in a lot of drafts where I got Jonathan Taylor recently. So that'll be higher. Yeah, Thornton. I grab a lot of Thornton later on. He is a great deep threat. He honestly just looks good. Look, I backed off Kendrick Bourne. I don't think I have him in a ton. How much Bourne do I have? That's unfortunate. My 11% Tim Patrick shares. Okay, I have 11% Kendrick Bourne. I've dropped him a lot in the rankings. He's been performing like way worse in practice as of the last like 2 weeks. I think it's going to be Myers getting heavily targeted. Parker in the red zone, not as much between the 20s. But I think they're going to kind of move Tyquan Thornton like up a lot in the depth chart, like in the midway point later in the season. He looks pretty quality, so excited about him. But yeah, Wandale, I like Lockett as like a best ball player. Dotson, when he was going super late, he was so free in drafts. Galladay to complete those stacks. Thielen used to be going at like 40 for wide receiver. I have too much David Bell, Sutton, Julio, Godwin, Gage as Bucks receivers. That makes sense. I feel like I get Andrews a good amount. I get Tunyon late because like he craters in a lot of drafts. And I just want that touchdown upside. Waller, Pitts, Gesicki when he falls. So yeah, that's the exposure right now. But again, please understand if you're confused about one of them, look at all the picks or all the drafts I'm like in right now. When all of those get added in, exposures are going to change in a lot of them. Okay. Fire away any last second questions that you have, and then we're going to probably get out of here. Just use your promo code FFA, got $200. Wonderful. Yeah, it's like the best promo you're going to get. They're going to double your deposit. So if you want to join into these drafts, you want to join these Pomeranians, you want to join, I'm sure they're going to do another one of the puppy drafts. Like, it's really fun. You have the rankings on the website. You can download directly into Underdog. You've got the strategy articles. And then they'll double your deposit. So even if you stink, and you like lose like half of these leagues, or I guess, half the leagues, you're not going to win half the leagues. But if you're a really bad, you're probably still not going to do horrible if they double your deposit. I take full advantage. I put $100 in, now you have 200. You're probably not going to lose all of that unless you're really, really bad, which you're not going to be if you use the rankings. But also in season, there's going to be props. And I am going to be partnering with them a little bit in season as well. I'm going to post some player props. There are going to be player props on the website. And so you guys will be able to fill out those slips as well. Those are really fun to do. Is best ball where each week you don't have to play your people? It just takes your best lineup. So you're looking for upside. You don't have to make in-season moves. You don't have to worry. I can join 300 leagues, have exposures to players, but not have to worry about setting the lineups, doing trades. Like, some of you like that. I personally don't as much. I would rather just do the player analysis. So it's more fun for me. You don't have the Pomeranian on mine. So I think you just have to go to the homepage. It's not on the NFL one. Go to home and it should pop up. It's all fast though. Know that. I prefer slow drafts. I don't do fast drafts because I don't have the time to do them. But the puppies are so fun whenever they open up the next one of those. What round are you looking for Trey Lance in? In a half PPR league, I have Trey Lance as a late 7th round pick. So somewhere in that 7th round range would be a good spot for Trey Lance. You have the 9th pick in a half PPR 10 person league. What's the best case scenario for you in round 1? I find it unlikely any of Taylor, McCaffrey, Jefferson, Kupp, Chase, and Eckler are there. That top 6 will be gone. So hopefully Dalvin Cook is there. Maybe you can go Dalvin Cook and like Alvin Kamara. Maybe you can go Dalvin Cook and then Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon. Those would be really good starts. If not, maybe Dalvin Cook and like Devonta Adams, something like that. That's probably what I'd be looking for. But like those players, 2 of those players. Would you rather have CMC or Kupp in a full PPR league with a huge bonus for 40-yard touchdowns? I'd still rather McCaffrey. He still has the opportunity to get those long touchdowns, and he's just so much more valuable if he hits his true ceiling, which is like, 27 fantasy points per game. Ten-team league, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex, 4 keepers. You have Chase, Henry, and Pitts. So I'm assuming you already kept them. No penalty for keepers. Do you keep Waddle or Etienne? So you already have, so you have Pitts, you have Derrick Henry, you have Jamar Chase. So you're like covered in all of these positions. Do you keep Waddle or Etienne? Did you say the scoring format? I would say if it's full PPR, that's tough. Where do I have them? My gut says Etienne. I feel like that's like your upside pick. I have Waddle at 43. Yeah, Etienne. I'd keep Etienne. 12-team PPR, pick 6. Do you go with Chase if he falls or Eckler? Yeah, I would go with Chase and then Eckler if he's not there. What was your question? You said it's half PPR. Yeah, I was pulling up the half PPR rankings to answer that question. So I think Etienne. Hero wide receiver this year. So draft Justin Jefferson and then go like Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, Pitts, Herbert, and then probably attack wide receiver in the middle rounds, I guess. I would say hero wide receiver just works best if you're still attacking mid. So grab your like Jefferson, Kupp, Chase, grab one of them. As long as you do go back to wide receiver in rounds like 6, 7, 8, kind of that range, yes. If your hero means you're not going back till round 10, I think that's a huge mistake. If you're at the turn, a 10-team league, you have Chase and Mixon at 10, 11. Would it be a mistake if Najee's on the board to do that? Well, I think I have Najee ranked ahead of Mixon. So just rankings-wise, it's a mistake. So yeah, I would go with Chase and Najee. If you're asking the question, are they top 2 in the rankings and then they're on the board? No, I think it's fine. It's running back, wide receiver. It's a great offensive line. It's a great offense in general. I'm not concerned about that combo. No, you can do Chase and Mixon if you need to. But I would take Najee over Mixon. Please try hero wide receiver on a show. Maybe a mock draft Monday I'll be able to. I'll try. Full PPR, how do you feel about Javonte at 26? That's where he should go in full PPR. That's fine. All right, last question. I shouldn't have even said last question. I have to pull up the full PPR rankings. All right, while that loads, I'll say what it is. Rank Mixon, Kamara, and Swift in full PPR. Once that loads, we'll answer that, and we will probably get out of here. I'm surprised my voice survived even this far. Recording every day through August into September. Boy, does it hurt. All right, what were the players? It was Mixon, Kamara, and Swift in full PPR. Swift. No. Kamara, Swift, Mixon. That's that ranking. All right, guys. One last like if you haven't done so already. 148 of you in here, 84 likes. Some of you have not hit the like button. We're going to end the stream here. Tomorrow, we got some rankings updates, so definitely stay tuned for that one. That's a good video. We're going to do a player breakdown on Friday. It was Stevenson versus A.J. Dillon versus Chase Edmonds. And then Friday, worst pick in every round. That is what is coming up. So subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. I'll catch you on the stream next week.